Welcome,
Hey, everybody.
everyone. We're here with Juliana, Marilyn, and Denver. Steve-O. How's everyone doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Great.
Good, thanks.
How's the weather in Clearwater, Buffalo?
Clearwater, Buffalo, about, hate to say the regular line, but it really was about 75. It really was. How about Clearwater, Brazil?
Clearwater, Brazil is 19 Celsius, which I will tell you 65 Fahrenheit.
Okay, it's pretty reasonable.
It's not bad.
I'm in Clearwater, New Hampshire tonight, not Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
And I see you're using one of those green screens with a fake background because that's too good. That looks too good to be real.
Duncan, run up the stairs.
Without your pants on.
Oh boy.
You couldn't get me to walk up those stairs.
Again?
Yeah, go run up the stairs.
Okay, let me get him on.
He's got to put his pants on first.
Thank you.
I gotta demonstrate to them.
Oh, look, Duncan's here.
Duncan and his brother built these stairs. So,
really?
Here he goes.
Oh, wow.
See, they're real.
Wow,
They're real.
Yeah, that's real, yeah.
He put his pants
That looks awesome.
Very nice. Very nice.
What about you, Steve-O?
Oh, it was
northwest, southeast, northern Denver.
Coastal Denver, yes.
Coastal Denver, yeah.
Castle or Clearwater, Colorado is it was about 90 today in here.
Wow.
Fahrenheit, not Celsius.
Yeah.
I
hope
probably
so.
have melted if it was Celsius.
Probably.
And now I'm just hearing the thunder, so I think it's about to start raining. So it and then it's going to do it again tomorrow. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, we have some people here. We have Terry is with us. Peggy saying hello.
Terry and Peggy.
Duncan already gave us the
demonstration.
The upgrade, the demonstration, and the weather update from Clearwater, New Hampshire.
Doing good.
Living Mud Cakes, Grand Theft Hoopty,
Whoop, whoop.
Passive Pups, Jeff, Stephen Britton, Helico 26, Mandy Gonzalez. Steve-O has timed out and broke his promise, said Mandy. Ooh, I don't know what that's about. What's that about?
The day is not over yet.
Oh, I don't know.
If my screen goes blank for about 45 seconds, it's just to respond to an email. So.
And I want to ask everybody: Can you see me? Can you hear me? Am I freezing? Am I buffering?
What?
Or can you see me loud and clear?
Oh my goodness, no!
I have decent internet finally.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's great.
Is today the Jeopardy game? No.
I hope not, because we're not ready.
We're not ready.
Yeah, we're waiting for Aaron. We'll see when he schedules it. But
he's got a lot on his plate.
Cakes. Good to see you again.
Mud Cakes.
Yeah.
Look, Deccan Outcake. She was with Chad earlier. For those of you who don't know, Chad is back with his pre-show. How was that, Chad?
Awesome.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that. What happened
We had
today?
a lot of people on.
I missed it. Was Deviant Outcast was on?
Like you said, we had.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Sorry, Deviant Outcast.
Yeah, that's a good one to rewatch, everyone. We had Deviant Outcast. We had Joe. We had. Where's my list? Yep, Giuseppe. Yep. Claire the Taylor was on.
Cool.
Cindy from Sinful Foods.
Seneca.
Oh, I miss Seneca.
It was so good.
Nice.
Yep.
You should rewatch it.
That's amazing.
Oh, I will watch it for sure. Did you guys get to sample some of her wares? She passed it through.
No, she gave us cooking tips, though.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to watch the replay.
Oh, yeah,
I'm busy.
Peggy says
Clearwater
Death Valley was 101. That's hot. I am sorry.
And that's as dry as it can be, too.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So hello,
Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody.
Angela Anhata. Angela again.
Angela. Nice. Jeff
Who needs watch hours? Veronica. Marilyn does. I am also streaming this to my channel just
Oh,
because
nice.
I don't
Nice.
really, I still don't have a plan to have a channel. I don't have any purpose for having a channel. But since I have better internet now, I'm streaming to my channel just to be there.
Nice.
Yeah.
But
That's
Marilyn is the one who actually needs the watch hour. So also all of our 4 channels should be in the description of all of our 4 videos. They should be. I don't know if I did it right. They're there.
And I could use some subs as well. I think I'm at 670 something. So
Oh, let's get on that.
Oh, Terry, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. That'd be great.
Goldie, yes, I don't know whose channel she is, but she says, "Where's your effing moderator?" I think if it's not you, I don't know whose channel you're on, but it should be you somewhere. You're the almighty moderator for every single channel, aren't you? Aren't you the
Goldie
SPTV goddess?
I'm not going to offend wonderful Peggy, who after a week on vacation is now back. We thank you, Peggy.
Okay, it could be my channel.
Burke, I saw a Burke.
I saw Burke too. I'm just flashing people because
Burke.
I'm not saying hello to everybody.
Oh, there you go, Burke. Deviant,
Hey,
Hey, everyone.
Burke, again.
see Sarasota Jerry in the house.
Jer-
Nice.
Jer-
Project.
FXP.
Vincent Biggles.
Hey, Vince.
Nice.
Hashtag Linda P. Golan, ZNU Nation. Wednesday at what time is it? 9:30? 9?
It's your
something?
show and you don't know the time.
I forgot what time I scheduled it for because I was trying to rearrange it so Aaron
That's
wouldn't do a 12-hour marathon with.
Aaron
94
might still
people
do
again.
that, you know.
He might.
Yep.
He might.
That
I
was
have
a
not-
lot of fun though last week.
Oh my God, it was. It really was.
Yeah, that was
SP
great.
Bunch.
Yeah.
What did they call it?
Yeah.
The SP Bunch?
I think so. Because
Think so.
they filled the screen. Yeah.
It was so good.
Gino D.
Hey, there's
Terry.
Terry.
And it was amazing because it was just like he started just talking to Chris to the new Chris. I don't know his last name, but not Chris Shelton, the other Chris.
Right.
He
Malin.
started
Chris
talking
Malin.
about the. Thank you.
Yeah.
He started talking. So he was just him and Chris Malin talking about the new Golden Age
Chris
attack.
Malin.
Or is that? Shut up. And then Mark Hadley was in chat interacting, and we all were like, "Oh, send Mark an invite. Mark, jump in!" And then everybody
Yeah.
started like, "Oh, it was insanely
Yeah, it was great.
fun."
Yep. That was.
Okay.
Burke says it's just Birkin.
Just Birkin.
Nice.
Just Birkin around.
Working around.
Burke in
Wow.
order. Burke
Really?
view.
So, Apostate
What's that
Alex
name?
will be with us shortly, and
Yep.
also Mark Fisher. He's probably taken a little break between streams because Mark, as most of you know, was on Aaron's stream or is still on Aaron's
Yep.
stream. So
Yep.
he might need a little break in between.
Don't tell
Or at
him
least-
when he gets
yeah.
here, but he's probably peeing right now.
Oh, stop.
Well,
What's you with your potty language, your poop emojis, and
Speaking of poop emojis, let me just plug this really quick. The Denver Steve-O merch store is now in full effect. We have 3 collections. I'm really excited to say we're up to 3 now. We have the OSA collection. We have, which OSA smells like, you know what, poo. We have the Xenu Nation collection, and just launched today. I am so excited for this. Angela and Peggy and Tiff and especially Goldie, just what you've been waiting for. It's the I Slept with Steve-O collection. So we've got I Slept with Steve-O t-shirts. We've got I Slept with Steve-O t-shirt dresses. So a little bit more of a flow. We've got I Slept with Steve-O. What do we have? A journal, so you can write down all of your intimate secrets.
okay, let me just say something about that journal. Everybody just needs to go on and just look at the description. It reads like a Harlequin novel.
Absolutely read the
Hey,
description.
Mark.
Absolutely. Hey, Mark.
Hi.
Read the descriptions to all of them, please.
Hey, Alex.
Alex, too. Yay. We
Great
got everybody
timing.
here.
That was good timing, wasn't it?
So I was just
Yeah.
plugging,
perfect.
I was just plugging my store, specifically my I Slept with Steve-O collection, which just came out today. What else do we have? We had, so the journal, We have an I Slept with Steve-O wine cooler or wine tumbler. And then just what everybody has been waiting for. Ladies, gentlemen, the whole kit and caboodle, a Sleeping with Steve-O pillow. So get your pillow, snuggle it all night. But do me the favor, when you go in there and check out everything on the site, do read the descriptions to the I Slept with Steve-O line.
Yeah, that's worth it.
It's well written.
Especially the pillow and the notebook. Highly recommend.
Yes, I would agree. So anyway,
I just wanted to check. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah.
Absolutely, Mark.
Yeah.
You sound great.
Good.
Yeah, I ordered an Osa smells like poo cup, coffee cup, and an Osa smells like poo tumbler. So for wine at night and coffee during the day, because we do 2 streams usually.
While
Vince,
we're talking about merch, I do
Alex.
have to plug my own merch store, not
Please.
for my merch, but because
Yes.
Goldie, for those of you who want to support Goldie, I have a whole Goldie merch collection on my store, apostatealex.com, and any profit that is made from the sale of Goldie merch goes straight to her, because I thought there's no way for people to support her and say thank you for all the amazing work she does across SPTV. So I thought, let's do some merch, and if people want to support her, that money goes straight to her.
That's
So
amazing.
That's
if
wonderful.
you want to support Goldie, buy some merch, apostatealex.com from the Goldie collection. And that's a nice way of saying thank you.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Are we able to
That's
buy
awesome.
Goldie coffee yet? Does Goldie have a buy me a coffee? Because
You can buy a Goldie mug, but she does not have buy me a coffee as far as I know.
okay.
But we should get her on
Oh,
that.
that kind of coffee. The first
Yeah.
coffee.
Yeah, we got to get on that. Her and Julie.
So
But
just
hi,
in
everyone.
case
And hi, Mark, by the way.
I just want to say hi to everybody. I was a little late because I had to go to the bathroom after being on the live.
Steve-O called
He
it.
was
Steve-O
listening.
said-
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah, I called you
Steve,
out
I just-
publicly on that one. Sorry about that.
So I just wanted to say, just in case there's anybody there who doesn't know already, like they wouldn't, I'd like just to show here, I put like Apostate Alex's YouTube channel and now his website. He just said he has merch, and especially merch, not especially, but also merch for Goldie. I don't want to say like, also merch for him, but merch for Goldie. And Mark Fisher and Janice Gillen Grady have the Our Scientology Story Spilling the Onion YouTube channel, which you should all check out, which I was actually watching just now.
Nice.
Yeah, and
you
don't
very
just subscribe to either of these fools. Go and join. Go become a member to their channels. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
thank you, Denver Steve-O. You joined, and we really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, everybody, we've got memberships, and we're trying to. I'll be honest with you. Okay, we have to get 30 members like in the next 2.5 weeks, and we do that. YouTube's going to pay Janice and I a $500 bonus, right? So even if you just join at the $3.99 level for a month or two, you can cancel at any time. You know what I mean? It's just all you do is you sign up for the peeling supporter at $3.99 or whatever you feel like. We get over 30 subscribers. Janice and I get a nice little bonus. And plus, you'll like the content. I think Denver Steve-O, you saw the photos I put up, right? At the
Yeah, absolutely. The photos of the Grand Canyon. I honestly, I just joined because I want like the secret phone calls with you two. So
that's right. Yeah.
No,
What we're going to do is one-on-one phone calls or live stream with people,
cool.
for like 10, 15 minutes once a month. If you're a peeling master, that's our top level. Where you can ask us, personal questions, whatever, anyway.
Very nice. Yeah, no, I will tell you, Mark, you two are the first membership I have ever subscribed to or I've ever joined. So
thank you so much. We're honored to have you in there, Denver Steve-O.
My first subscription was actually through Apostate Alex, so we can have a
full
circle going on here.
And
I was gifted one though, because I wasn't subscribing to anybody at the point, and I was gifted one, and then I paid it forward. Like I renewed my subscription, and I actually gifted subscriptions to his channel too, because
Thank you.
support.
For me, the memberships on my channel is more just to show a sign of support, and you can get these little emojis. I've got like a PTS badge and L. Ron Hubbard little emojis you get in the chat, and the idea is just supporting the channel and being a part of the thing, which is which is good. So
it's a way to support. We love the subscribers, and trust me, we're not. The way we looked at the membership was we're not going to hold back information that we were going to provide to everybody. We're just going to add some extra stuff, okay, like one-on-one communication, a book from Janice. You get an autographed copy of her book as a peeling master, and we just want to give some extra stuff in exchange for supporting our channel. Financially, it helps. It helps get the word out there. So anyway,
that was my way to get her book. So.
Yeah. hey, I was going to mention Denver Steve-O and Chad, little Chad. Looks like we're all wearing the blue Hawaiians.
I was going to say, look at that. Yeah.
I didn't get the memo, otherwise I would have found.
That's okay. You and Marilyn match.
And I should be wearing black too.
I'm wearing a branded hoodie.
Oh,
there you go.
Very
That's
nice.
cool, Alex.
Very nice.
And then, hey, Marilyn, I want to ask you before I forget that you posted some pictures today on Facebook from your special place. Where is that? With the lake and everything. It was beautiful.
It's Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire. It's the biggest lake. Well, Duncan knows more about it. He's right next to me. But yeah, it's the largest lake, like circumference-wise.
Come on over, Duncan.
In New England.
I've never been to New Hampshire. That's one state I've never been to. I'd love to come up there sometime.
Well, you're welcome. This is the lake house that's in Duncan's family. We don't own it ourselves. It's in the family.
Yeah.
So, but we get used to it, which is great. And so
that's wonderful.
Very blessed, or very fortunate, whatever you say now.
I don't know about Mark, but I am definitely streaming on my channel. And if you are watching this,
I'm not streaming.
You're welcome to, Mark.
We just finished streaming with Aaron. I'm not streaming, so you can watch it on chat. Clearwater Chat or Maryland's or Denver's channel. Alex.
Well, I was going to say, if you're watching this on my channel, please use the link in the description and go and watch it on Marilyn's channel so she can get the watch hours and the subscribers that she needs. So anyone watching on my channel, go to Marilyn's, watch it on there. It's the same stream, just a different link.
Thank you.
What did y'all think of the show tonight? Did you watch?
I did. Well, I was messing with my equipment because I had to lug everything up here, and Duncan's got the bungee cords out and the duct tape, and I'm trying to go around him so I can listen to you guys. And I'm so glad that Reese was on with you.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
Janice.
I've never met her before. I didn't know anything about her.
That's awesome. Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah, I love hearing the stories about the switch from LRH to DM and how things just went crazy.
Yeah, and we're not saying that Hubbard and Scientology is the answer. Okay, right. We're just trying to tell the history of what it was like, because it was immensely different back in the day before we left. Before Miscavige, became a maniac. But and that's not to say it's all perfect or good, but we're just trying to give another viewpoint for people. Go ahead, Alex. I'm sorry.
No, I was just moving my pop filter.
Oh, okay. I thought you were. We have this little thing. You put your finger up if you want to talk.
Sorry, no, I was just fiddling with this.
And did you catch the part where we did a video and Janice's two dogs were behind her, and all of us started having a 2D session, and she didn't realize, and I had to tell her, Janice, and so she got him to stop. But somebody then chatted in saying we have to blur it out. You can't see it. It wasn't for very long, but we're gonna have to blur that section out.
Yeah, I heard somebody.
They were
say
behind
that,
over her shoulder. They had no idea, and I'm going, Janice.
They can flag your channel or something. I heard somebody say, right?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Anyway.
Wow.
But it's just animals.
I didn't watch the whole thing because I was busy getting set up and everything, but I watched a good 20 minutes or so. And one thing that I really took home from it is something I try and do with my channel of helping people understand that Scientologists generally are not horrible, nasty people. They are genuinely trying to help other people.
Yeah.
Yes, there are obviously nasty and horrible people that do horrible things, and Scientology itself has an impact. But these people, I joined staff because I genuinely believed that it was the best way of helping the greatest number of people. And it's the only way I'm going to really help someone. And that's the mentality of someone in Scientology. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. In the public, they think Scientology, oh, you're horrible, they're all manipulators and all of this. Most people aren't. Scientology itself is very manipulative and coercive and all of this, but the people don't realize that they're doing harm. They think they're doing good. And that's what I try and always get across. And I think you mentioned that in the part of the stream I watched, Mark.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, that was the point I was trying to make, because, a lot of people go like, oh, you want to be an OT and you want to be exterior with full perceptics and all that. That's pie in the sky. That's not why I joined staff. I joined staff because I wanted to help people stay off drugs or get off drugs and communicate better with their family and have a better life, and the biggest upset for me about not being in Scientology is not, is basically that society has really gone downhill quite a bit. And there are things that Hubbard did that he worked out that could really help people, but then they're not doing them. You know what I mean? And that's what's disappointing to me now as I get older.
I think also that Scientology is such an extremist belief system. If you're fully indoctrinated, you're fully a Scientologist, you think that not just that this is a way to help people, but it's the only way to help people. And the principles and teachings and the things that Hubbard stole and took from different places, there's elements of truth and they do help people. Otherwise, people wouldn't join in the first place. But they take it to the extreme, which is where it then becomes damaging. If you look at some of the core principles, man is basically good. That, there's nothing wrong with believing most people want to help other people and they're genuinely nice people. As a principle, yes, but they take it to the extreme, and that's when it then becomes harmful.
Exactly. Well, it becomes controlling at that point. It also, the thing is, and this is something Hubbard said, and I completely agree with it. You can take medicine that's going to help somebody, but if you misuse it purposely, you're going to hurt them. And it's the same thing with some of the things in Scientology. You can use it to help, or you can also use it to hurt. And Miscavige is a good example of that. But Alex, I was going to say, I think it was last Monday when you were on with Janice on here.
Yes,
I loved your explanation of what about auditing, about getting processing from Scientology, about you have a temporary euphoria when you get out of session. And that totally described it for me, because I try and explain it to people that it's like when you have a good session, which you're supposed to have every time, when you walk out of that session, you're floating on air. I mean, you literally feel like you're floating on air. It's an exhilarating experience. And you said that perfectly, right? And then it would get to the point where you were just doing it all the time. And then they would send you out somewhere to a dark alley so that you'd get keyed back in again, so they could take you back in and run other sessions, because people would get so keyed out, is what we would say, so keyed out that they couldn't counsel anymore because there was nothing there for them to look at. But I thought that was a perfect explanation for the feeling you get when you get auditing. It's different than a sec check or where they're trying to find out your crimes. This is where they're actually having you look in and actually handle emotional problems that you've had in your life and that type of thing. And that's what hooked me when I was a teenager.
That's the thing, like the idea of confronting trauma and things that have happened in your life and, processing that is a good thing. So the idea behind it works, but Scientology auditing goes to the extreme, and then it's used for interrogation with sec checks and so on. And then you start talking about past lives, and then you access a part of, like, that's where it then becomes harmful, because you're not necessarily confronting the emotions. You are talking about them and intellectualizing rather than feeling them.
Well, and then you believe that L. Ron Hubbard, everything he says out of his mouth is the word of God. And so therefore you believe everything that he says, including the OT levels, which to me, I did them, but I didn't get gains on those. I got gains on the other processing that I did. So, that's the cult mentality, is like, oh, the leader can do no wrong. Well, guess what? Nobody's perfect in this world. I hate to tell people that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
I really like and respect how Janice always, basically she did have a lot of admiration for LRH and growing up, but she also tells stories where he was definitely human. I mean, he would have blow-ups, and even tonight she mentioned how he borrowed money to buy St. Hills and never paid and never paid it back. I was like, wow.
Aaron was shocked too. Aaron was like, "What?"
Yeah,
I didn't catch that particular part of that stream, but I was reading Barefaced Messiah where it talks about London org. Like there was a Dianetics group or something that was on it, and basically he was trying to get someone else to pay for this new building in London in his name so he could use it and somewhere he could live and so on. And he did it on a loan, and then it never paid the guy back, and then he bought St. Hill Manor. And this guy was like, hold on, you said you didn't have enough money to pay me back. And then you just spent all this money on St. Hill and basically just, got other people to take the risk and have their name on the documents and so on for his benefit. That's what he did.
Mm-hmm. Have any of you read not Barefaced Messiah, Piece of Blue Sky?
It's on my reading list. It's the next one after I finish Bad Cadet, which is I'm on.
Yeah, and I've never read Piece of Blue Sky. It's John Atack. It's been out forever. I've never read it.
Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of Barefaced Messiah or some of his research came from John Atack before he published Piece of Blue Sky, right?
Oh. Yeah. John Atack is amazing. He has a wealth of information and knowledge on the topic and has been talking about it for years and years. And I watch pretty much every single video he does. He's great. And there's just so many books I'm going through on the list to read. It's the next one after I finish Bad Cadet.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't Piece of Blue Sky somehow not banned, but in the UK there was a problem with libel or something like that where he couldn't get it published for the longest time?
I can't remember the full story, but I think it was something along the lines of Scientology did a campaign and wrote to all the libraries and said that you shouldn't have this, it's offensive, and then a bunch of them took it out and it was banned to some extent. I don't think it's allowed in the British Library or something like that. I don't know. He talks about it on his channel, but there was something like that happened. Yeah,
I've heard of that. Yeah. So I was going to go into the starred questions. We've got about 20, just some different things. We got everybody already. 10x for Chad.
10x.
Yeah. I saw a couple of questions. Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple of questions for Alex and Mark that I think we should.
Okay. Question for Mark. When Scientology started, did they put as much emphasis on separating you from your family and viewing your family members as just another reincarnated being? Good question.
Well, not when I was a public Scientologist. I was a public Scientologist, excuse me, when I was a teenager and, all through high school. And then I joined the Sea Organization right out of high school. Now, when I joined the Sea Organization, they didn't separate me when I was in, but when I was joining the Sea Organization, I got to the point where my dad and my brother, they were Scientologists too. My dad was the executive director of a Scientology mission. But in 1979, about 3 years after I joined the Sea Organization, they decided they'd had enough of Scientology and they closed down their mission and just got involved with a different cult. Okay. So they were declared suppressive people at that time. And I got pulled in, saying, hey, your dad, did this, this, and this. Where are you at on this? And I made the decision. I wanted to be with L. Ron Hubbard. I was in Clearwater at the time. I wanted to work for him. I decided I'm disconnecting from my dad, and that's where it becomes difficult. I was disconnected then from my dad for about 11, 12 years, actually, no, 12 or 13 years, while I was the remainder of the time I was in the Sea Org. And then even when I got out, it took me a couple of years before I actually recontacted him and my brother. And, that's where the separation comes in, and I actually blame myself to a degree because my goals were more important to me at that time than my own family. It's unfortunate. And so that's the choice that I made, and I had regrets about it. But my dad and I did reconnect, and my brother and I are reconnected, and we've been together ever since. So I was able to come to terms with it. But yeah, no, they did separate when I was in the Sea Org.
And you're very lucky that you had that opportunity to reconnect after you left. I think it's heartbreaking, but people have to know that that's not always the story. A lot of people are still in the Sea Organization and are still disconnected from their families, right, or they leave and their parents have passed away or whatever. Like, it's not common that reconnection can be made, and that's heartbreaking. And people need to realize that this is going on today, just as it was 60 years ago, 50 years ago when it all started. And that just makes it more real to me that this is currently happening and it's being subsidized by US taxpayers. You, as a US taxpayer, are subsidizing this behavior, which just makes it even more outrageous.
And just to add to that, just to reinforce what you just said, my sister, who was a public Scientologist, she never reconnected with my father. And as a matter of fact, when I left in 1990, she disconnected from me, her and her husband, right? And so we were disconnected for a long time. And then it wasn't when my sister ended up passing away in 2012 from colon cancer. And they didn't even bother to tell our family. I found out about it on Facebook 6 months after she had died, that she had even passed away. And then I had to tell my mother, who actually still alive, that her daughter, who was our oldest kid, that had passed away. And she didn't even contact my mom because she had disconnected from my mother, who had never been a Scientologist. And the whole reason that she disconnected from my mother is because my mother was connected to me. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
it is.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you went through that, Mark. That's a
Yeah,
really
it's,
horrible experience.
It is what it is. That's why Janice and I on our channel, we're starting to call out Sea Org members who are in there that we know they have elderly family members who have not been in touch with, and we're calling them out.
Good.
It's really bad.
Yeah, the way that it seems like the way that the Scientology mindset, this whole thetan and drop your body and all of that, and the way you're indoctrinated in the group, seems like the whole thing of getting rid of your emotions and all of that, the way that they deal with death especially, doesn't allow room for people to grieve, right? And then it forces disconnection, and so it's the same thing. If you're going to be disconnected, that's the impression that I get from the outside, right? If you're going to get disconnected or if you're going to lose somebody, it doesn't matter. So why would I tell you? Look at what they did to Liz Ferris. Like 19 years she's thinking her dad's dead, and now she found out that he's not. And like, what? Who does that?
Yeah.
It's cruel.
Yeah.
It's
And
sad.
the belief is that you are an immortal spiritual being that has had many lifetimes and will have many more. So whoever might be your mother or father or brother or sister this lifetime, suddenly that's not important anymore, because next lifetime they won't be your brother, sister, mother or father.
Yeah.
So who cares if you have to disconnect from them? Yeah, it sucks this lifetime, but you've got millions more lifetimes where you're not going to be family.
devastating.
So family therefore becomes really unimportant in Scientology.
And my dad pointed this out to me when I did reconnect with him, and we talked, and we saw each other quite often, and he had been in Scientology and he'd gone all the way up to the OT levels and all that, and then he left and he got involved in this other cult that he was in until the day he died. But he brought up a good point, which I had not really realized, was that the thing that's missing from Scientology is the concept of love. Okay. Love yourself, love one another, love your family. Okay. Love is not talked about in Scientology. They use the word affinity. Okay. But it's not the same as love. Okay. And I've learned in my life since leaving Scientology that love is the most important thing in life. Hubbard talks about the man's basic urge is towards survival, right? But I think the basic urge, I think we all want to love and be loved. That's the most important thing. That's what I strive for. And I think a lot of people strive for that, whether it be from their dogs, their pets, their family members, their kids, their wives, their husbands, their boyfriends, their girlfriends. I think we want to be loved. And I think love is a concept that is not in Scientology. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I remember having conversations when I was a teenager trying to figure my life out and be like, I want a girlfriend. And then I was trying to ask these questions about what is love? What's the meaning of love? How all of this. And it was always directed towards, ARC, which is affinity reality communication. It's well, if you have a lot of communication with someone, you agree with them about a lot of things, and therefore you have love and respect for them, affinity. But I was like, yeah, but if there's a girl that I have a crush on, talking to her a lot doesn't make someone fall in love with me, or the other way around. Communication doesn't equal love. Every question I would ask, there was never an answer, because there isn't anything about this concept of love at all in Scientology.
Yeah, and that just like you're talking about affinity, reality, communication. What's that supposed to equal, Alex? understanding.
Like understanding.
That's what it is. It's understanding. It doesn't have anything to do with love. ARC, affinity reality communication, equals understanding. That's the Hubbard concept on that. You know,
that's very interesting. So they but there's something that they sign ARC, so they equate ARC. They say it's understanding, but they equate it. They equate it with understanding, but they say it's love, or they say it's understanding.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
No, I'm sorry, because you're saying that they say that ARC equals understanding.
Right. Affinity reality communication equals understanding.
But also when they sign letters and they sign much love or ARC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's in a sense they sort of equate it with love or is that not it?
I don't know where the ML thing came from. Like we would always sign. You probably the same.
There's no
like
love in that ML.
Every letter, it's always much love or ARC, and it's just kind of like a sign off, like best wishes or kind regards.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't.
Yeah, it
really
was
much
like
meaning
saying
behind it.
sincerely, but Hubbard did that on his own letters that he wrote to public, because he wrote "Much Love, Ron," you know, and so that became, even in internal dispatches and memos, you wrote "Much love, Dave." Much love.
I've
Mark.
seen nasty letters saying horrible things and then signing
Much love.
ML. I'm like, there's no love in that message.
Yep,
I love it.
it's true.
But I like ML. I used to sign much love already before that. And then when I learned that I just signed ML, I'm like, I'm taking this back from Scientology, even though I was never in Scientology, because it's horrible that they say that, and the guys saying use on Hollywood Boulevard, much love, in the same breath.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's just one of many contradictions in Scientology.
Yes.
And you don't ever stop to think about it or question it in your mind, because you're thinking about other stuff and you're doing so much. Like it never, once you're in, it never crosses your mind to question something like that.
Sure.
Which is where the indoctrination happens. And because of that, you lose your critical thinking skills. Right?
It's very easy for me to sit here from the outside and judge and say, that's crazy, that's insane, that's weird. But when you're inside of anything, you have, and they're keeping you busy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Burke has a nice point there. Tiff had an interesting comment about this too. Where is it? Actually, she says, reminds me. I want to read Marilyn. I've been talking a lot.
Okay. No, it's okay. Tiff 45. Actually, I'm going to have Chad read this because someone said that Chad never talks. So, Chad, why don't you
I
read
caught that, and they're fibbing. Okay.
Yeah.
Tiff 45 says, reminds me of Laura FM's dad saying, in this life, we are playing his father-daughter thing. Makes me so angry for these kids. Yeah.
Playing is such a big word in Scientology, because everything in Scientology is a game, right? Like the game of life, or the game of expanding Scientology, or let's play a game of book sales, right? It's this whole principle that we don't need to get into now, but playing the father-daughter thing is like, well, this is a game. Like that's just this thing that we're doing, like we're acting. We're not really father and daughter. We're just playing this game. And again, that's one of those things that you don't question at the time. But what it does when compiled with everything else is separates your mind and separates your thinking. You don't associate your father as someone who's connected to you in an intimate, loving way, because it's just a game. Right. So it's creating those, the separations in your mind.
Chad and Mini Chad agree.
Witness has a point about that. She says, Chaz is a little bounce. Chaz like the bouncer, he observes.
Yes.
Right.
And report straight to OSA, right? Because
right.
you are OSA. You're
Right.
ahead of
Everyone
OSA,
tells
right?
me,
We've kind of forgotten about that point from our first meetings with Clearwater Chad. That's right.
From Poe. Yeah.
Yep. I type up. Well, these guys know I type everything up.
And sign it off. Much love, right?
Apostate Alex, you have a new subscriber, new member to your
right.
Thank you. Welcome.
We love
and
CO Bill.
We have a couple of questions here. Let's see. Maryland. Oh, yes. I think you already answered this one.
Oh,
right?
yes. I'm on vacation. Yes, I am. I'm on Lake Winnipesaukee. Yeah.
All right. One for Mark.
Don't I already miss Reese? Yes, Reese is awesome. That's the first time I ever met her. I didn't even know who she was. Janice said, she did a couple of videos with Aaron, and I hadn't seen him, but she's wonderful.
Something I thought very interesting about the stream with you guys now is that you had both like Aaron and Reese, and then you and Janice, and then you had when you talked about the events of how before you left there were no events, and then how David Miscavige started doing the events, and then Aaron and Reese were raised in a different Scientology than you and Janice, and that you were struck like, what's life with no events? Like the whole difference with the David Miscavige.
Sorry, my dog. I'm muted.
Right.
You're okay.
Adds personality to the chat.
That's right.
Events were a huge thing, particularly in London Org, because it's a chance to see what everyone else in the world is doing, and then it also drives what you're doing in the org. Like the number of times we would be focused on the birthday game, trying to sell as many books as we can, because it's a competition with the other orgs around the world, because we want to be shown on the stage and get an award for doing the best book sales, for example, in this competition against. But it's all to do with this event that happens on March 13th for LRH's birthday. The events were huge milestone things, and there was always goalposts to reach along the way to each event.
Oh, good girl, baby.
Well,
Oh, where is she? Bring her in.
Oh, she's a husky, so she's down here on the floor. It's hard for me. I can't pick her up. But she was barking because I was getting a delivery, and she was just welcoming the Amazon driver.
Okay.
good.
We had a question for Alex, if I can find it. Here, Apostate Alex.
Free Xenia Project, Apostate Alex. I think that is the worst part about it. It takes people that are good with good intentions and uses that to their own gains so they can be controlled. Yeah, exactly. And this is a separation I try and make with my videos. Most Scientologists aren't sitting there thinking, oh, great, how can we manipulate and control this person? They don't even realize that that's what they're doing, right? When I talk about the stress test pattern and how we went and sold books, right? Get someone to tell us your deepest, darkest fears and traumas so that we can sell them the book. I'm doing that because I want to help that person with Dianetics, because Dianetics is the way to help them. But what I'm actually doing is getting them to relive trauma on the side of a street to a stranger, and then getting them to give me money to hopefully help with that, which is a horrible thing to do to a person. But you don't realize that that's what you're doing, because you genuinely believe that this book or Scientology, whatever, has the tools to fix that person's problem. So Scientology in itself is manipulative and controlling and coercive, but the people doing that, most of them don't realize that that's what they're doing. Now, don't get me wrong, there are horrible manipulative people in Scientology. Not everyone is good as gold, but the majority of people are just ill-informed, unfortunately.
Yep.
Okay. I'm afraid to speak because I don't want to. I don't know if there's a lag up here, but so this guy has something to say, Duncan Honig. Every cult draws in well-meaning people. They don't know the rabbit hole they're getting into. So that's pretty much every cult, I think. Yeah. There's so many parallels when I hear you two gentlemen speak about it. I'm like, oh, that sounds like this in our cult. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. We had this feeling, the whole greater good thing. Like we didn't believe in reincarnation, and we didn't believe in a lot of the different things that you were focused on, but it was like that greater good. Like you have to give up everything for God. You have to focus on that. And there was this thing, I don't know if anyone has seen the documentary Shiny Happy People with the Duggars. The IBLP was the cult that they still follow to this day, and that was the beginning of my whole indoctrination as I was in my teens and 20s was this whole authority thing. So even though we didn't have like a fake Navy or whatever, it was this authority structure, and they defined your soul like you were trying to save your soul, right? Your soul was your mind, your will, and your emotions. And that made up who you were. Now, you had to give that up. You had to give up your mind. You had to give up your will, what you wanted for your own life, and you had to give up your emotions. And with that came things like relationships, family, your job, pretty much everything that made you an individual and made your identity. Like Duncan and I had to ask permission to get married, and pretty much had to ask permission to stop having kids, to have kids. Like, it was to go on vacation. Like, sometimes this place would be sitting here because we would be feeling guilted that we couldn't come up here. So yeah, it was just nuts. And like, when you guys talk about it, I'm like, yeah, I can totally, kind of takes me back to that. And so many cults and even abusive relationships are the same way. So I think what you guys say and what you present is so useful and so important to get out there, because it could help someone to avoid, getting into one of these high control groups. And that's my passion. As you can see, I'm passionate about it.
Yeah. No, thanks for sharing that. I wanted to make an observation. Shortly after I got out of Scientology in the early 90s, I hooked up with, I had a friend who got involved with Amway. Does everybody know what Amway is?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, Alex, if you have that. It's a multi-level marketing where you're buying soap and detergent and things like that, and getting other people to join that are under you, and it's this whole pyramid thing, right, that you're building up and all that. And I joined because it was my friend and all that, and I was like, okay. And I introduced a couple other people, but he was really, really into it, right? So he took us to Salt Lake City on his dime. They had a national convention, okay, in this huge basketball arena there. There were probably 10,000 people in there. And I'm sitting back and I'm watching, and I'm going like, they're all dressed the same. They're selling books and tapes, okay? You're supposed to flow power to your upline, who's made millions of dollars and have these fabulous motor homes, and you can be one of those too. And I went, you know what? Amway's a cult too. It doesn't
sounds like the FSM program, doesn't it, Mark?
Yeah.
Sounds like the FSM program.
Yeah, I mean, it was a realization. I went like, this is a cult too. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to necessarily be religious. They get people to follow the leader and do what they say and not question what they're doing. And the people that are making the money are at the top.
Yep.
Yeah. Before I started following cults, I was following MLMs. Chad, tell your story.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm sure Julie's heard it. So I was in the group that copied Amway. I won't even say their name because I don't even want to dignify them. So they copied Amway.
Was it called Chadway?
I wish, because then I'd be the
TEDx program.
TEDx program, yeah.
Well, it was the same thing. The leader says this, and we had to go to somewhere in Florida. It probably was Clearwater for all I know. I don't even know where it was, but we all had to go to this place and always go into hotels. And I can't say they lied, but they just phrased things like the best case scenario, which never happens in life. And so it never, the money never happened, obviously.
Apostate Alex Electric Boogaloo was gifted a membership to your channel.
Oh, amazing.
Nice.
Thank you.
By the
Whoever did
Suppressive
that.
Pups.
Oh, nice. That's one thing I don't like about StreamYard is when someone does that, buys memberships for someone else, it doesn't show up in our chat that who purchased them. It says that this person is a new member, but it doesn't show us who bought the membership that was a gift.
Well,
so thank you, Suppressive Pups.
It didn't even show here at all. It just showed when Suppressive Pups bought their membership, it showed. And then when they gifted, it didn't show anything. I only saw because Electric Boogaloo commented, thanks for the membership. And then I went to your channel and then I checked and it was there.
Yeah. Oh, Duncan just passed me a note in class.
Okay,
He passed me a love note. It says,
I'll get to this.
It's just about the MLM thing. There was a series that we saw. It was with Kirsten Dunst, I think, Becoming a God in Central Florida. It was about MLMs. And it was like basically kind of a bit of a parody on Amway. It was crazy. It was crazy, but it was really good. So if you want to, anybody wants to look that up, it was really intense. But it's called Becoming a God in Central Florida.
If you find a link and post it on the chat here, that'd be cool too.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. I just wanted to say, Cassie Isaac said, Alex is so damn cute.
Well, thank you. I am very tired. I've literally just got back from a festival and it's almost 3 a.m. So thank you.
That's extra
Because I
special.
don't feel like that.
And that's extra. Then extra
Didn't
special.
you text me from a tent? Weren't you like in a tent last night? You were texting me from.
Yeah, in the
This
tent in
poor
the field.
guy.
Yeah.
You're a
Yeah.
And I wanted to take that to ask, and then it links to this comment here. So did we get Apostate Alex and SO yet? Got those stats
What
up.
do you mean? Did we get an SO?
Significant
Not
other.
Sea Org, a
Mean
significant other.
Oh, I thought it
Not a
was the
Sea
Sea
Org.
Org. I'm like,
No.
what?
No, significant other. No,
Oh.
that project. So the 2D to not 2D project's on hold for now because it's very much Ash's thing, and she is on a trip at the moment. So, one of the main things I need to do tomorrow is catch up with her and see where we're at with it. And we've got a couple of episodes of the show that we do every week that was paused for a bit, and we've recorded. I think there's several episodes in the works that we just kind of paused releasing them. So hopefully we can get back on that this Wednesday or next Wednesday, and then I'll catch up with her and let everyone know what's happening with the show. But it's on hold for now.
Tell her she's messing with your 2D flow.
Yes.
Aw, I know. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've missed you guys together, and then
I know, he's
this year not
passing
to be. We've been.
I think there's
Honestly-
like we record quite far ahead of time, so I think we've got at least 4 episodes recorded and
Okay.
ready to go. We just paused releasing them because I was busy and I couldn't be there for the lives, and then Ash was busy, so we will pick it up very soon.
Nice.
Tatiana says, just going back to the anti-MLM first, I think for a second, the anti-MLM YouTube is great for analyzing cult tactics. And then we have somebody in the community. I don't think she's here, but she was in Aaron's and Mark's and Genesis and Reese's live just now. Michelle Carpenter, who did the Discord channel.
Yep.
She also has a YouTube channel where she's an anti-MLM YouTube channel. So
Oh,
Nice.
yeah, I can find a link for that.
interesting. All right.
Amazing. Guys, I need to be right back. I'll be like 2 minutes.
No problem.
Okay.
Okay.
He's going pee.
All right, Stephen
That's what you
Britton.
said about Mark, and you were right.
It's about the MLM comment regarding Amway. The way the business is set up is completely legit. The cults are the groups that do the training and personal development stuff with books and tapes. Yeah. Actually, if you watch that Becoming a God in Central Florida, they really emphasize the whole tape thing where they're like basically like positive self-talk and kind of indoctrinate themselves. The way the business is set up is completely legit. I would say it's legal. It is legal, especially because there is a product involved, but it is very pyramid schemey. So
Yeah, what I was going to say is, Marilyn, is that when I was at this convention, you were encouraged to buy the books just like you were in Scientology. In other words, hey, you want to support and flow power to your upline. You need to buy his books and buy his cassettes because he's going to show you the way. Now, there may be truth in that. There may be truth in those books and all that. But basically, I just got the feeling it was the same thing. It was just basically pushing you to buy, and that, you've got this golden being that's, making all this money, and you can be like that too. Just get all the people in that are under you. So I mean, it is a legitimate business. Obviously, they make a lot of money from it and all that. But to me, it just came across very cultish to me.
Yep, I agree.
Angela Bernhardt, I want to know what love is. I think she's singing it,
I
right?
want to know what it is. I
Nice.
want you to show me. There you go.
It's a little early
It's
for
Foreigner,
our
right?
karaoke, but
Yeah.
Foreigner.
Foreigner.
yeah.
Yeah.
I want to feel what love is. Yep. Mark. Free Xenu project. Mark, I think you're right, but the problem is LRH only loved himself. So if someone loves someone else too, he couldn't handle that and becoming enraged. He was a true narcissistic sociopath. What do you think about that, Mark?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up, doesn't it? And typical of many narcissistic cult leaders. Absolutely. Oh, Sinfully Good.
What love is. Oh, hey,
Hey, Seneca.
Hey, Seneca.
Seneca. Clearwater Chad. Had a great time on your pre-show today. Thank you for inviting me on.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it was a great time.
So you started that back up after what, about a month?
Yeah, people were inboxing me about it, and I'm like, yeah, I stopped at the week of the Renaissance, so I get some sleep that day, and I just never thought about it. But the people speak. We want to do what the people want.
Have you ever seen it, Mark? Do you know what we're talking about?
No.
Before we had this show, the after show, Clearwater Chad started with the pre-show. So he goes live. He started going live by himself before Aaron's. And then he started inviting anybody in the community to join. And then we started joining and doing like whatever. We were like drawing and talking and knitting and, just chatting. And that's how this group got together.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that's true.
And now he's back with that pre-show.
You guys are crafty. I believe it or not, when I was a teenager, my grandmother taught me how to do needlepoint. Okay. And I did needlepoint for years. But then I get done with the needlepoint that I did, and then I didn't know what to do with it. So I just throw it in the closet. Like I didn't make pillows out of it or frame it or anything like that. It was just something to keep my hands busy while I was watching TV or just listening to music or whatever. So, and I loved it. To me, it was like coloring with yarn. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
That's what I feel like too. Like I like watching TV and doing things, but now with the cell phone, with the smartphone, and it's like, haven't been doing as much.
Yeah.
I was so amazed. How many crafty people and creative people there are. And if you think of it, like that's kind of how I started watching SPTV. It was I would been listening to podcasts, and then I thought, well, I can still crochet, and because that's kind of my side hustle that turned into like my business. But it's great because I can still have my hands free, but listen to this. And there's so many people that do that.
You know what's really great as well for former Scientologists? It's like art and creativity and music is a really good way for anybody to, learn about themselves and take their mind off things and like do something fun and enjoyable and creative. Right. And for people who are in Scientology, for example, that are trying, there's this whole process you have to go through of like refinding yourself and your purpose. And particularly those in the SEAL Corps and staff will find it difficult to be okay with not having to work and be productive all the time. And something like, crocheting or whatever creative thing you want to do, it helps you just kind of get into this space of like, no, I'm not working here. I'm just doing something that I want to do that's creative and cool and nice. And that's a really good way, I think, of helping people on that journey. So I think you'll be helping people without even realizing
very
that.
Interesting.
That's kind of what this YouTube channel has become for me. It's like a hobby for me. I love the creative aspect of it. I love doing the thumbnails. I learned how to use the computer graphic stuff to make a thumbnail and then to put. I don't know how to edit videos yet, but so that's why I use StreamYard. But just doing the thumbnails and the advertising and all that, I find it fun. You know what I mean? It's like you're doing it and you realize you've been doing it for 2 hours and it seemed like 5 minutes. So I'm not very creative. I can't paint or that type of thing. But for some reason I can do these and I enjoy it.
You are though. I was gonna say you are though. You have been doing the thumbnails and the presentations.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
They're awesome, and I see that I see you're having fun. Amy also is having a lot of fun. She's creating like the intro.
Yeah, and I do the slides too. Janice sends me the photographs, and we put them in order, and then I do the slideshow and put it in PowerPoint and all that. And that can take hours, but it's a lot of fun. And if I'm missing pictures, I'll Google and look for something, and I'll find it, or trying to make it as understandable as possible. And to me, that's a lot of fun. I did do a lot of training on movies and cinema when I worked at over Golden Era Productions and editing and that type of thing. So it's bringing back some of those skills that I learned back then, and I'm enjoying it.
Well, Mark, we'll have to jump on a call, and I can help you with showing you how to edit videos and stuff, because
that'd be great.
It is a lot of fun, and I find I get engrossed in it. Like the documentary I released recently it ended up being a huge project, and I was like, started editing and thinking I'll just spend an hour or two doing it this evening, and then next thing you know, I'm like, whoa, it's 6 hours have gone by because I thoroughly enjoy it, and it's a good fun thing.
Yeah,
I'll find myself up half of the night doing something, right? Doing some sort of editing or some sort of. And honestly,
I know that one, Steve.
Well, right.
I'll tell you what I haven't been able to figure out is how do editors do this jump cut? You know, it's like you're talking, like I'm talking to you right now, and then you can see an edit and you're still talking, and then you see another edit and you're still talking. I don't understand how that is, because when I did editing back at the day in Gold, I mean, you'd have transitions, you'd cut to another camera or something.
Right.
But you know what I'm talking about, right, Alex? And
yeah.
Sarah?
Yeah,
So
we'll have to jump on a call. I'll help you.
I figure when I was just watching Kelly's, the one with Mitch, just during her premiere, and I figured as I was watching it, I assumed that she interviewed Mitch and he did all of his stuff, and she was like in pajamas or whatever, just going, and then she like re-videoed all of her going ha 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 ha, all dressed up, and just cut those into it. I have no clue. I don't know how, but that was my guess, is that she just like, it was like early one morning, she's like, and then she just refilmed all of her stuff. So
I don't know if
funny.
she did that, but it's that's a funny thought. It can
it's
be
cheeky,
done.
right?
Yeah. There have been a few videos I've worked on where like, I mess up a word or something, and I think, should I re-record that just to get the word? And I was like, no, it's not worth it.
Yeah, right.
Well, and that's why when I started the channel, and Aaron said use StreamYard, you know what I mean? Because I didn't want to spend all day editing videos, you know what I mean? And so StreamYard made it very easy.
Right,
and at first we did video recording, but then Aaron said, no, do them live, because it doesn't matter if you make a mistake, you know what I mean? Just keep going, And so that's where we've gotten to do that. And but I'd like to get, like, I see Amy on some of her videos. She does a great job, and she's talking, and then something flies in, and it's right there that she's talking about, and then it flies out. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. I can't make the queen bee fly through, She's got that mastered.
That is so cool. Like, I wonder how she did that too. But I don't know anything about editing or anything. I just think editing is like a lot of hard work.
The animation stuff is what really gets me. Editing, cutting between things for the most part. Yeah. Except, what you're talking about, Mark. But yeah, when it comes to like some of the animation-y stuff where things will like move in and move out, I mean, yeah, that's advanced. I haven't gotten that far yet. So
yeah,
that's a lot of work too.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I'm not sure if this means IT or it crowd. Dustin,
I think it's it, because we're not IT crowd.
Destiny. Well, I'm just saying they're talking about IT stuff. The Never-End seem to know how to bring in the it crowd.
I think it's it.
It crowd, the it. Oh, you guys are the it crowd. Yes.
We got it going on. Okay.
You're the cool, you're the
mofo.
You're the mofo. You're the big bad mofo. Do you have one of those wallets? You need that wallet from.
I do actually have one. I bought one at a motorcycle rally about 5 years ago. It says "Bad Mother," you know what?
Yeah.
I love Pulp Fiction.
From Pulp Fiction,
oh my God, I gotta buy that wallet. And I have
that's great.
My sons both have one, and my son-in-law. It's a thing. Yeah, that's awesome. Yes, we're so glad to have you. We're very privileged when both of you offered to come on. Well, we sort of dragged Alex, but.
You didn't drag me. You asked, and I said, yeah, it completely depends on how I feel when I get home from this festival. But
and that's why this morning I was like, are we sure we're going to have Alex? I'm going to put his name, but he might be tired. I was like, thank you very much, Alex.
As of 1:46 a.m. last night, yes.
Yeah. I mean, we've got to support each other and help each other out. And you guys are a big part of the community. And, you add value in different ways. That's the beauty of having individual creators. And so, so the least we could do is jump on your stream, and you guys can come on our stream and, help each other out, right?
Yeah,
and everybody's opinion is valid. You know what I mean? Nobody's opinion is greater than anybody else's. The only thing that I bring, or that Alex brings, or whoever, is just our experience and the knowledge that we have about historical events or things that happened before, but your opinion is just as valid as my opinion, as Alex, as Denver Steve-O's, you know what I mean? Everybody's opinion is valid.
Except for Clearwater Chad,
Thank
who's
you.
just Oso, and we don't care.
So
Yeah.
I'm joking.
That's funny.
But the thing about telling your stories and your experiences is it's so relatable. Even though Scientology is one of these things that just seems so mysterious and so weird and all that, it really is. There's so many parallels, and when at the end of the day, we're all people, we're all human, we all have we're all made of the same stuff, and I love this community. We just really care about each other, and I think it's great that we can kind of relate to each other where we're at. So
Yeah, and it's funny too, because they try and suppress you from saying things. I have had things done to me over the years to keep me from talking, and I don't have those suppressions anymore because I don't care. You reach a point where you don't care anymore, and what you realize is that regular people, they don't care about the bad things you've done in your past either. If you're a good person, it comes through and it shines through. And when you realize that, it makes it much easier to be able to do something like this. You know what I mean? It just makes it easier, and hopefully people can understand.
Yeah. What a lot of people don't realize is like 90% of SPTV actually is behind the scenes. Like, we all talk to each other and text and help each other out, and we're on calls to each other. And like, the majority of this community isn't what you see on YouTube, and the YouTube stuff is great, but we are all this community that are together and helping each other and supporting each other, not just on the streams, but behind the scenes as well. And that's what's really lovely for me.
Yeah, we reach out to each other. Like Alex, we're trying to hook up with you at some point.
One day we will make it happen.
We are going to make it happen. It's funny too. We have more people reaching out to us who have never spoken out. Longtime ex-Scientologists and ex-Sea Org members have reached out to Janice. We've got some people that we're going to interview here shortly that have never really spoken out. And so that's exciting for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
They feel
That's
safe.
beautiful.
That's the other thing too. The reason they do it too is they feel safe now.
The more people are speaking, the safer I think others feel too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've had several in the last couple of weeks of people that are survivors of other cults, and very similar to mine or even Scientology. So many parallels to things that they experience, and they're kind of getting their feet wet a little bit, wanting to speak out. And hey, if I can put myself out here as a middle-aged crochet lady, anybody can do it. So that's what I want to just put out there, is like, anybody can can do this.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I've never done anything like this before either.
You're a middle-aged crochet lady?
Pretty much.
Alex, where can I find your documentary? I haven't seen it.
Oh, thank you,
so
Cassie. Yeah, so I called it The Second Dynamic, and it's on my channel. It's about 35, 40 minutes, something like that. It's all about Scientology's track record with LGBTQ plus rights, and how in Dianetics, the one that you can walk into any church of Scientology in the world and buy the book, and it literally says that being gay is a sexual perversion, and it's something that needs to be cured. It's a physical illness, and yet at the same time they promote that they are publicly accepting of gay people and so on. And so I interviewed Kate Bornstein and Nora Ames, and Claire and Aaron make appearances as well, and it's just trying to surmise the whole ridiculousness of their stance on that thing. That matter. And I spent about 3 months working on this documentary. So yeah, thank you, and definitely go check it out.
Janice mentioned, I think on the Monday Live, I think that Scientology and Scientologists are the most judgmental people. Do you know what I mean? For like being able to be, you're supposed to be accepting and not evaluate, and not in, you know what I mean? They're he's a this, he's a that, he's a this, he's a that. You know what I mean? They're just so judgmental. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's horrible. This is what I loved about doing this documentary, is learning so much about that community, and the struggles and things that people go through in coming out and realizing their identity, whether they're transgender or whether it's their sexuality and they're gay or bi or whatever. Like, that is a big thing for anyone to go through. But then couple on top of it the treatment of Scientology, if they're raised in Scientology or they joined or whatever. Like, it just adds so much more guilt and shame onto that journey and makes it that much more worse. And I wanted to kind of shed a light on that, to make people realize that this is happening right here today, right now in the real world. And it is funded, I'll say it again, by you as a US taxpayer, because you are subsidizing Scientology until they get their tax exempt status removed. And I really want to hammer that home, that's why this is an important thing to talk about, because you as a US taxpayer are subsidizing disconnection and the guilting and shaming of the LGBTQ plus community and others.
Good point.
Yep.
Very
So,
good.
and thank you, Tiff, for your comment.
So people are commenting that I'm a middle-aged crochet, which is fine. I agree. But I also want to say I'm also an air-conditioned gypsy, okay?
Okay, an air-conditioned gypsy.
Yep, that's from a Who song from the 60s, so.
Okay.
It's, yep, if anyone knows that
got
song.
that. For the record.
I want to do something here. I want to do this. There you go. That's better.
Somebody asked, I've got to go shortly, but somebody asked in the chat about what do Sea Org members eat?
Yes.
Rice and
Right
beans.
here.
Yeah. Can you tell me about what SO members were fed? I know beans and rice and chicken, but just baked chicken, or was something else to it? The whole time I was in the Sea Org, you ate whatever was, you got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so you'd had eggs in the morning or oatmeal and that type of thing, and orange juice and all that, just like a regular breakfast. And then lunch would be whatever, like sandwiches and, light stuff. And then dinner was regular food like you would have like at a restaurant or whatever. But what happened is that if you got in, lower conditions or in trouble, you'd be assigned rice and beans, and they would basically just put out basic rice and red kidney beans, and that was basically what you had, or rice and refried beans. And I had never, ever was assigned rice and beans, so I never had to experience that. But when I was in the rehabilitation project force, you're supposed to get the leftovers of what the crew hasn't eaten, but that wasn't really even a problem for me. We were in Los Angeles, and they have the galley, the people in the galleys, they want to make sure that you're fed. So I never really had really bad cooking. There was one time where Hubbard cut the financial planning to the point where there wasn't enough money really to feed the crew, properly, and the food was really, really bad. And I lived for about 3 months. I would take my $17.20 and I would go buy a jar of peanut butter and a jar of Smucker's strawberry jam and a loaf of bread. And I would eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for lunch and dinner. And that's how I survived for about 3 months.
Wow.
Every day. That's insane. Wow.
And I loved it because I love peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah,
That's good. That works, at least.
I think up from the stories I've heard, it really depends on where you were in the Sea Org and whether you're on the RPF or not, and where, because obviously there's not like a uniform, this is the menu for every Sea Org member today in the world. It depends where you are, and some Sea Org members have talked about how bad the food was, and some have said how good it was, depending on where they were and who was in charge of the galley at the time. And it varies greatly, for sure.
Yeah, I'll tell you a funny story about Miscavige, okay, and eating and food, right? We had pretty good food at the international base because I was always in management or whatever, and we had pretty good food, right? Well, I mean, I have always battled with weight, right? So I read a book called Fit for Life, okay, and it's about food combining. All right. And it's you basically, if you're going to eat like a piece of meat or a steak or chicken, then you ate it with like a salad or a vegetable. You didn't eat it with a starch like potatoes or bread, because the theory is that the food would just putrefy in your system and slow down and you would gain weight. So like if you wanted to eat potatoes or bread or something like that, then you didn't eat meat. You ate it with vegetables or avocados or that type of thing, right? And then first thing in the morning for breakfast, you would always eat fresh fruit, because fresh fruit would move through your system quickly. So that was basically the diet. And I went on this diet and I lost about 25 pounds really quickly, and and to the point where people were like, "God, Mark, you've lost weight. You look really good. What are you doing?" And I tell them about this Fit for Life diet, right? Well, Miscavige was out in Los Angeles at Author Services, which was the for-profit organization for L. Ron Hubbard's books. And that's where he was mainly based, but he would come back and forth to the international base. And of course, I was his man at the base. So I went down to visit down to Author Services in LA a couple of times. And people asked, hey, you've lost weight. What are you doing? And I told them about Fit for Life. So 2 or 3 staff members there at Author Services, they got on the diet and they started losing weight. And so Miscavige noticed it and he goes, hey, how are you guys losing weight? Oh, it's this great diet. It's called Fit for Life. Mark Fisher put us onto it. Oh my God, he about exploded. The next time he came up to the base, he called me into the office with Mark Yeager, and he told me that he goes, Fisher, you're on a squirrel diet. What does L. Ron Hubbard say to lose weight? You know what I mean? And I, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, well, you're to stop that right now, right? And sure enough, I gained back the 25 pounds.
Psycho.
Jesus.
David Miscavige, you're a psycho.
Oh, God. We laugh about it now. At the time, it was like, what did I do wrong? I'm just eating my food right.
That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
Anyway, sorry about that.
No, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We know all the horrible stories, the very bad ones, but then you get like the silliest little things in his.
Yeah.
Anything he could do to control people.
Mhm.
If people were winning and doing well, or if they did something well, he would find a way to belittle it. Do you know what I mean? To make less of it in front of other people.
That's
And that
horrible.
was his way of controlling. That's why he's sadistic. He really is. He would make fun of people. The things that would come out of his mouth, I can't even repeat. He was the most creative swearer I've ever met and encountered.
So I hear. Yeah.
I've never heard
It's very
one
sad.
positive story about him yet.
What's that?
I've never heard one positive story about him yet, and I've tried to listen for them.
That's a good
He
point.
married Shelley.
He was a bad sport. Like if you were going to play a game, like when we played basketball, all right, or whatever, he had to have the best players with him because there was no way he could lose, right? So he would get the best players, and then you would play against them, and you were expected to lose, right? But if you won, then he'd get really pissed off. He was just a bad sport. I'll tell you another funny story. Do you remember there was a card game called Trivial Pursuit back in the 80s?
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's a trivia game, right?
Yeah.
Well, he and Shelley went on leave. They went on vacation one time for their family. Sorry, my dog's barking.
Sorry.
Another member for Alex. Just shout out.
Anyway,
Thank you. Welcome.
he went on leave back to Pennsylvania, and this is in the early 1980s, and they were playing Trivial Pursuit, and we'd never heard of it. He goes, oh, they tell me it's the latest thing. It's the latest thing, right? So he plays the game, and he goes, it's so ridiculous. He goes, it's almost impossible to do. And we're eating, this is at lunch, when we're eating a bunch of people. And he goes, so the Mark Yeager and a couple of the executives, they decided they would play it that night. They played it. So the next day they came back and they said, God, this is such a hard game. And I said, well, what do you mean? And they said, the questions, how do you answer these questions? So I go, well, give me an example. And they go, what's the name of the accounting firm that tallies up the Oscars every year? I went, Price Waterhouse. And they went, okay,
No.
right. All right. Okay. And then give me another one. So they go sports one. I go, okay, what are the first names of the famous Alou brothers? And I said, Jesus, Felipe, and Manny. And then went, how do you know this stuff? I said, because I went to high school. I studied and I read the newspaper every day. That's why I know this stuff. It's trivia. You know what I mean? That night we decided that Miscavige goes, we're playing trivia. Guess who's on his team?
Oh, you were her. That's funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
And guess what? We never lost.
Okay.
That's
Well, at least there's
funny.
that, because I thought he was gonna actually be mad at you because you obviously knew more than him.
No. So he just co-ops you, and just basically we played teams and we won.
Wow.
Anyway.
Mark, it's funny you bring that up because it's something I was thinking about tonight when I was listening to the stream and I was working around. But I thought, when you said that you joined when you were 14 or so.
Well, I got into college when I was 14. Yeah.
Right, but you didn't join the Sea Org until a little bit later.
When I graduated high school, I was
Okay.
17, almost 18.
Right. So, do you think you had a different experience because you were coming out of real real world in a way. So
Yeah.
you had that background. Do you think that helped you as far as what you
I
did
do,
stuff?
because the thing is like I graduated high school. I had been accepted to 3 colleges: Syracuse University, University of Virginia, and Southern California. And my plan was, when all through high school, I mean, I went to public school in Northern Virginia, and I went to one of the best public schools in the country, and you were expected to go to college, you know. And I got good grades, and I was, you know, I was good in sports, and I was good grades, and so I got accepted to these universities. But I got involved in Scientology, and then in between my junior and senior year, I met a guy named Greg Wilhare, who was in the Sea organization at the Washington D.C. organization. And I was blown away. I'd never seen anything like him, and they talked me into joining the Sea organization, and that's where I went. And when I got to Clearwater in July 1976, David Miscavige was my roommate, along with a couple other guys, and he had just dropped out of high school 30 days before, so he'd been there for 30 days. Anyway, I had my diploma. I had my high school diploma. I had my Letterman jacket and all that sort of stuff. And I'll never forget, you know, we were up in the dormitory room, and he goes, "What's this?" And I go, "Oh, that's my diploma from high school." He looked at it. He goes, "Oh, what a waste of time." He goes, "I dropped out." He goes, "There was just drugs everywhere." And he goes, "You know, you might be the only person on this floor up here," which was where all the Commodore's messengers were, "who has a high school diploma." And it turned out that probably was pretty much true.
I remember being at that age in Scientology and having multiple conversations with them, trying to convince me not to go to university because it's pointless. What's that piece of paper going to do? Like, it doesn't matter having a degree, doesn't mean anything in the real world, because on staff, you're helping people on a spiritual level.
Right.
So who cares, you know, what education you've got, because they're educating you on the wrong things that don't matter, that aren't important. You're not learning any new skills, because the only skill really that you need to know is how to sell books and audit people, because that's what's going to clear the planet. And that's what is the most important, but the only important thing that you can do with your life. So why bother? Why waste your time and money going to university? That's what they would say to me on an almost daily basis.
My father had
go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, Marilyn. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's
my father had the viewpoint, because he was in Scientology at that time. My older sister, she'd gone to college. And then my younger brother, after I was in the Sea organization, he went to college. She paid for both of them. But his viewpoint, and I agree with his viewpoint to some degree, he says, "I'll pay for you to go to college, but you got to know what you want to do. I don't want you to just go there for general studies." My sister was a pianist, and she wanted to be a classical pianist. And so she went and she got into music school. And same with my brother. My brother he was an oboe. He played the bassoon. He played the bassoon. And he got a scholarship to the Eastman School of Music in Rochester, New York, which is one of the finest conservatories in the U.S. And he's never worked a day in his life. He's always played in a symphony orchestra. So, you know, I kind of agree with that, you know, nowadays with kids and stuff, because I never went to college, right? But I when I got out, I didn't have a degree, and that was a little bit hard. But I had skills, and I've always had skills in being able to talk to people and make complex things simple. So I did really well when I was a mortgage loan officer and a mortgage broker, because I could take something complicated that people couldn't understand, like an adjustable rate mortgage, and make it very understandable and simple. So, you know, it is what it is. I wish I had gone to college to some degree now, obviously in retrospect, because I wish I had some of the other skills and some of the other things that you learn there.
I think this actually is a good place to jump in for a little plug for the Aftermath Foundation as well. If you are currently in Scientology and need help leaving, the Aftermath Foundation will help you. And one of the things that they do is help you get, for example, a GED, which for any Brits watching or anyone else, that's like your GCSEs, it's your high school qualification. If you've grown up in Scientology or in the Sea Org, you don't have this education, the Aftermath Foundation will help you get that certificate and education that you missed out on, so that you arrive and land in a place where you're on your feet and you kind of, you know, have got the knowledge that you missed out on. So that, I just wanted to plug the Aftermath Foundation.
Oh, that's very valid. Listen, y'all, I have to take off. My dog needs to get out and walk and all that. But I've
Thank
I
you
enjoyed.
so
also was about
much.
to say the same thing because it's almost 3:30 in the morning here.
Wow.
But
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you
Appreciate
so
you guys.
much.
Yeah.
no problem.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you
uh,
very
Anyway,
much
I
for
enjoyed it
joining
because
us,
last
guys.
week I saw Janice and Alex, and they were having so much fun. I went, "Oh, I'll reach out to Marilyn and see if she
Thank
wants me
you.
to come on."
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
glad.
that's great.
that was great.
You're
And
welcome.
then
Mark,
the Aaron
we'll
thing,
figure out a time.
Yeah,
to
the
do
Aaron
our
thing
stream.
just came up this afternoon. He
Wow.
asked Janice and me. I wasn't planning on going on his channel, but then we ended up doing that. So
Cool.
And
You're welcome
Mark,
back anytime. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
we'll find a time with me, you, and Janice to
Yes.
sit down and have a chat and figure out a date to do a stream
yeah,
together.
I'm very interested in talking and learning more about you, Alex. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. And to the Netherlands, thank you for having
Thank
me
you.
and us.
It's
Hey,
been
thank you,
great.
Juliana and
Yes,
Clearwater
yeah.
Chad and Marilyn and Denver Stevo. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
We
Have a
really
Thank
great
you,
night.
Alex and Mark.
Alex,
Appreciate
thank you
it.
very much.
Pleasure.
Anytime.
Thanks for
Pleasure.
being here.
I
Tired
don't
and
know
all
how
that.
I get out, so you're going to have to get me out.
Oh, that's okay.
Alrighty, guys. See you soon.
Yeah.
Bye, Alex.
See ya.
Hey, here we are.
Yeah, that was great.
We did it.
Yeah, that
That
was
was awesome.
amazing.
Yeah,
That was
always
great.
nice to hear their insights and everything.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that was great.
We have Laura FM is not premiering, but she's going live, I think, in 35 minutes.
Okay.
So
Oh.
Yeah.
a good idea for us to try to
Sure.
cut
Yeah.
by that, and
Yeah.
then so that we can all jump there and watch her.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good idea.
We've been also putting up some questions that and comments that were there, but there are some that are still starred, and some that were not related. But then the conversation just happens, and
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
But so, if you want to tackle
Sure.
those,
Sure.
whatever we still have there, I'm not even sure anymore.
Sure. Jeff says, I am curious how many have started to learn to crochet since Marilyn started making all the characters for the SPTV group. They're so cool. Thank you, Jeff. Well, I'm blown away how many people. I love it when someone says, hey, Marilyn, I just learned how to crochet, or I'm teaching myself, or I used to crochet and I'm starting again. So that just really does my heart good. I love that. I think it's great. And there are so many creative people. And, when we were, I didn't want to interject too much because I didn't want to have, people talking over each other. But I was thinking about that, how even with myself, that having something that was just my own that I could do even when I was in the call, it really did help me probably save my sanity a little bit, give me a little bit of like the dopamine or endorphins or something to kind of keep me a little bit sane, and also something that was my own.
Somebody also said something about, I don't remember who it was, I'm sorry, that something good about crocheting is that you're counting stitches and you have to pay attention to that. So it's like a mental hygiene, right? That helps with all of those things. I had a question for you, Marilyn. You told me you started crocheting when you were 10.
Mm-hmm.
How did you learn?
Well, my adopted mom crocheted, and she was left-handed. So I used to kind of sit across from her. Usually when you teach somebody, you're kind of side by side, but I would sit across from her and I would kind of try to mirror her. And then I would go back, and the first things I had that I made were like, they had like growths and tumors sticking out. I mean, they were terrible. But by the time I was about like 12, I remember I made a cheerleader outfit for my friends, sisters, Cabbage Patch doll. This is dating me, right? This is early 80s. But yeah, that was probably the only thing I ever made without a pattern until Xenu, until the Xenu thing.
Hail Xena.
Yeah.
Davian
That's
said
great.
that it was her.
Because in the call, I had to do things that were utilitarian. Like it had to be a blanket or a pillow or a sweater or a baby layette, which is like a sweater with a little bonnet. So I always did things that were, useful. And now it's like I can do whatever I want. I can crochet penises and anything I want.
I'm sorry. What was that?
That was the first thing. That was her go-to.
I only said it once.
Funny.
I don't want to say it too much.
I think you can say it 3 more times.
Oh, okay. Well, We got 20 something minutes left.
There we
Simply good. I don't have the patience to crochet, sew, knit, or anything of that nature. One thing goes wrong and I'm throwing it across the room. I've been there.
Don't throw
But you
food
cook-
across the room.
Yeah, but you cook. Right. Don't throw the food. Don't waste it. Don't waste it.
Burned
Doesn't it
chicken
sound-
is still good chicken.
Deviant Outcast, I think, is the one who said that. That she said that, right? And she's the one who was with you earlier today, right, Chad?
Yes.
And she was actually asking for you, Marilyn.
Oh.
Questions for you.
Oh, yeah.
You were busy because you're on vacation and all of that, but
Maybe next week I can.
maybe next
jump
time
on
you
it.
guys can link up and
Yeah.
Sure. I want
Well,
to
tell us
tell y'all about my new YouTube video. Okay, tell us.
Tell us, Pete.
Cool.
Gnome Sane, I think that's what it is, says if Marilyn has ever crocheted Möbius strip, then she can say she crocheted infinity. You know what the Möbius strip is?
No.
It's the infinity symbol. It's very cool. It's very, very cool. You can do
Oh.
it. You can actually make it with paper. You get like a strip of paper, and then you. I don't remember how you do it. Like you like stick one side to the other, and you close it like this, and then you cut, and then you open, and then you do something, and then it opens. And it's that basically it's that thing that inside is out and outside is in.
Yeah.
That you
Ah,
put
nice.
if you put a pencil on it and you just start writing on it, you're writing on the
Oh.
outside, and then you keep going writing on the outside forever, and then you're gonna find where you started.
Yeah, isn't
and
it
you-
two
you'll have-
loops? Yeah. I was thinking you
It
could
is very
crochet.
cool.
You crochet a tube into the two loops, right? Like have it be a continuous thing, and then you could stuff it, and then make like a pillow,
Ooh.
like having
That's-
like I've made penis pillows where like you got the one end
That's
and then
two.
and they're really comfy. Yeah, behind your neck.
There you go, and that's
So I said it too.
Could be a
And that's
sleeping
your
with Mobius
infinity
pillow.
symbol, the Mobius pillow, or
Nice.
the eighth dynamic.
Nice.
You can call it the
Gotcha.
eighth dynamic pillow.
All right.
There you go.
Stephen Britton says, I
Mark.
threw my sister's Cabbage Patch Kid out the car window while parked in the parking lot, at least. Yeah, so it didn't go anywhere.
Oh my God.
Surprisingly,
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't get into trouble. Okay. Okay, that story ended well.
Oh man, yeah. Back when I was a kid, Cabbage Patch dolls were like the thing. I mean, it was like, you ever see that movie Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where him and Sinbad are like tackling each other to get this doll? Like that's how it was. It was like so hard to find. And I think Cabbage Patch dolls were like the first big Christmas item that
Yeah.
people were like risking their lives to go get.
Jingle All the Way, filmed at the Mall of America in Bloomington, Minnesota.
Nice.
It's my nerd. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Electric Boogaloo comment. I am eating Simply Good chicken right now for
Oh.
lunch.
Oh,
Nice.
Electric Boogaloo is in Australia, I think, right?
I was going to say, not true
Lunch.
because it's not lunchtime.
It
but
is lunchtime somewhere.
somewhere.
All right.
Well, that's good because if
Simply
it
Good.
wasn't lunchtime somewhere, it wouldn't be drinky time somewhere.
I'm drinking water, but
I just did black coffee.
Just say it's vodka.
Okay.
I'm drinking vodka.
There you go. I
Seneca
meant the
says,
water, Chad. You can you got like Irish coffee going
And
on
just so
there.
you know, if
Yep.
you don't know,
Well, Bailey's.
vodka is Russian for little water. No, vodka is vodka, but
Oh.
the meaning of vodka, the word vodka is little water in Russian. So
Really?
vodka.
I learned recently that vodka is made out of potatoes,
It is.
which makes sense
It is.
because I have a little bit. I like potatoes. I eat them once in a while because I'm Irish too, so gotta eat potatoes. And I live in New England. But yeah, if I eat too many, I get like my arthritis. My
Don't
arthritis acts up.
You don't want to eat too many potatoes being Irish because there could be another famine.
Oh, potato famine. Yeah.
True.
I think I've also heard of like cabbage vodka. I think anything you can ferment and
Ferment
distill,
it.
you can turn something
Makes
into a
sense.
vodka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of moonshine in Vermont. People
They can.
Wow.
They can. Like Chad's gonna have a little vodka as a treat, especially
Yep.
little
If-
Chad. The Chad, the
Vodka's
big Chad,
little water.
just like dip the vodka and dip your finger in the vodka and then like wipe it on his gums. I think that'd be okay.
Yeah.
If vodka's little water, what is
He's
little
teething.
vodka?
Little water.
David Miscavige water.
There it is. There it is.
What's little Chad drinking? Little vodka.
Oh, black
Little
coffee.
vodka.
Yeah, vodka, yeah.
Yeah.
So again, Marilyn, your Xenu outfits are so impressively intricate.
Thank you, Kayla.
Dude.
Yeah, I was working on arms in the car. I was making like piles of arms on the way up here because it's about a 4-hour drive, and I was like dropping stuff in the car. But yeah, still trying to finish these Xenus. I got a lot of stuff to work on. And Steve-O, I didn't forget about you. I know I promised you something, so
All right.
I'm gonna work on it.
All right.
I'm
Nice.
getting inspired.
Marilyn, working on yarn. This is from, as I learned, the name is actually pronounced by somebody yesterday, Destony.
Oh, just Stony.
How does the
No,
Stony?
Or is it Destiny? You in the press D Salazar. If it's Destiny, put 1 in the chat, and if it's Destony, put 2 in the chat, and then we can mock the person that calls you Destony, or you can mock me for calling you Destiny. But anyway, you say, Marilyn, working with yarn has given me so much peace over the years. A warm friend I can always come back to when I need comfort.
I know. I love me some yarn.
Like
I
that.
miss my piles of yarn, and I miss my doggy. I miss Apollo. Oh, Destiny
she said
says-
1.
So that was
Oh.
Destiny.
She says
Oh.
1.
So
Okay.
it's Destiny.
Yes.
Like Destiny's
Yes.
child.
Wow.
I was gonna say before. I think it's Destiny because it's Destiny.
I've always thought it being Destiny makes sense, but somebody
you
who's
know?
often on the go likes to pronounce it as Destony.
The Popo.
Not saying.
Oh no, this is horrible. No.
That's Tony.
No.
No.
None of that here.
No.
No.
No. Anyways,
Sorry,
Destiny,
sorry,
you are correct. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry that you have fibromyalgia. Pet potatoes are not good for us people with fibromyalgia. Yes, I have fibromyalgia too,
I did
and it
not
does
know that.
certain things. It's a nightshade vegetable, so I have to watch not eating too many peppers and like bell peppers and potatoes. Forgot what else is in the nightshade family, but yep, it's definitely.
Wow.
Cabbage Patch Nativity sounds like a nightmare.
Gross.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's funny. I'm just unstarring some things.
Caleb, you said Kayla? I don't know. No, I don't know. I'm like Kala in Portuguese. I don't know. I think it's Kayla. Says I know
Kala.
yes, but it sounds like the way Mark Headley says it.
Yeah.
I never noticed.
Headley
I
says
haven't
it that
heard
way
it.
too? Oh.
It's Tony, yeah.
Then he probably
Yeah,
does. But
I
he
think
says
he
Casey for
purposely
Cassie's.
does that.
I think Mark purposely, yeah, I think he
Like
definitely
Cassie,
purposely.
Casey, yeah. He calls Cassie Casey.
Yeah, Mark is a
Casey,
JD.
Cassie.
Right.
Yes, he is. He's a JD.
Stephen Britton and his mom set off all the Tickle Me Elmo dolls at Walmart during the spring of 1997. That's hilarious.
Wow.
That's a nightmare. That's
Can
a
you imagine?
nightmare. Oh my god. That was another one that was like, caused a big rush, and everybody probably caused several unalivements even. Who knows? But yeah, pretty crazy.
This reason the project is leaving before Lara. We'll see her at Lara's.
Have a
then.
great night.
Yeah.
Well, good night. We'll see you later. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Not only
Yeah,
me,
we
but
can-
everybody.
We could end a few minutes early to give people a chance to stretch and go to the bathroom, get
Yeah,
another
I need to-
drink.
Get a link for that. Goldie was posting links for that, but I should
Oh,
probably
good.
post a link for that here too, right?
Perfect. Yeah.
That's right. Crazy John T says pirates love yarn.
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 That's funny.
I love me some dad jokes.
Someone posted this. I don't know if it was themselves or some, probably from a group, but there was, a man, like a manly man looking guy, sitting on the floor crocheting a cotton rug, and it was gorgeous. It was like very like lacy, but it was a thick cotton yarn, and it was like, crochet isn't just for women, and I was like, I love that. It was beautiful too. That was super cool. Sorry I have to go, everyone. For Zenu Project, I have to do something before Laura. Have a great night. Thank you for coming.
I think Freezinu posted that like 6 times.
Oh, oops.
Like,
and
sorry.
yeah. Oh, that's okay.
No,
Let's go on
I'm just saying.
Maybe they posted
FXP knows my love, so.
Yes.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah, I apologize. We just wanted to let Mark and Alex, they had a lot to say, and it was very fascinating, and we do really try to engage the chat, and Juliana was starring things, but it was hard to pop things up. I didn't want to be accused of being double tapped. So yeah, so now we're just talking.
Yeah, that was
so
great.
After here, we have Laura, and Tara reminded me, don't forget to sleep with Steve-O. Yeah.
Yes, and before you sleep with Steve-O, it's always funny to say, go to my merch store and pick up your I Slept with Steve-O merchandise.
Or do it in the morning after you slept with Steve-O.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, Alex, you didn't steal the show. We're here for you.
Oh, no,
that's
Alex.
what we're here for.
We're very happy to have you.
Marilyn, I was just going to say,
not at all.
Most of these ladies and a few of these gentlemen, they've already slept with Steve-O.
Oh, okay.
So, but yes, go check out Laura first, and then once Laura's over, swing on over. You know the routine for the Sleeping with Steve-O. It's, we got some nice music. Actually, in the spirit of
have respect for you in the morning.
In the spirit of our friend Chad, the background music. Whoa, Duncan. Thanks for putting the pants on, though.
At least he put his pants on.
That's right.
Yeah. Plumber's crack here.
Plumber's crack.
We've got some nice peaceful
see
water
what happens when
tonight.
Apostate Alex. See what happens when you leave, it just all goes downhill. From
yeah.
At least you gave us some respectability until. Oh, simply good. I've slept with Steve-O 3 times.
Wow.
I like this one, Crazy John T.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Oh, I should have done that.
It's not too late. Not too late.
It's never too late. It's never too late. There will John, that shirt will be available starting probably tomorrow.
Where are we gonna wear these t-shirts? Like, people are gonna be like,
they're supposed to be you get one that's like a little big for you and baggy, and you just wear it to bed.
Of course.
Sleep with Steve-O.
Of course.
We'll have to have like a Xenu convention, like the Star Trek conventions, where we wear all this.
Oh, Duncan said we have to have like a SP convention where we all wear all this stuff.
Chad seconds that.
Oh yeah.
Chad seconds that. Hey.
All right. Let's see what else. We have a couple things here still.
What do we got?
Pete Justin answered the question that you had. He said he wanted to talk about the video, and then he said, "Tell us about your video." So, Steve-O.
Oh, so the idea of basically about the OSA docs that Mark Headley has released. If I could join like 2 minutes, I'd really like to explain.
I only saw now that he was asking to join. I'm like, I don't know if we have time tonight.
We have 2 minutes.
Are you still there, Pete? He said he sent you an email. Okay.
Yeah, I just got it here.
Just shoot him a link.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm looking for Chad's link though.
No, you don't have to look for Chad's link. You're in StreamYard. Click on invite.
Oh, hey, how about that?
Glad you guys know how to do this.
I see it.
The next time. Yeah, definitely have to set up before.
Well, he's launching this thing next week, so here, control whatever I did there. We'll get him in for a couple minutes here, Pete.
He said he sent you an email. If you want to join us still,
Pete, I'm going to respond to your email right now with a link. You know the routine. Click on the link, and OSA bots will swallow up your computer hard drive, and that's that. Oh, you know what? I did it wrong. Hold on 1 sec. I know. I'm just delaying things here. Copy. Okay, now. And I'm not going to say anything else because I just want to get this to you. So here it comes. Zoom. We'll be joined momentarily by the humble and talented Pete Jensen. I don't know if he's humble, but he seems humble.
You're saying
in the chat.
he has to act humble now.
Right. So Chad, Steve Britton's a fan of the your microwave. Steve Britton, that's
the soap. Oh, there he is.
That's the soap microwave. Oh.
Yep.
That was fast.
Oh
Yeah.
God! Don't bring me on that hard.
Hello.
There we go. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I watch you guys all the time. I'm so excited to be on.
Yay.
Thanks for joining us.
Especially, I think one of my favorites is Clearwater Chad. So just
It's everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
So basically, what I'm trying to say is I have a video coming out next week. I've been trying to think of things to get invited to the SPTV community. Trying to think of things. Let me lower my TV. Sorry. I've been trying to think of things how I can get involved and how I can be a part of this.
Okay, you're right.
And I thought, the OSA documents that Mark Headley's been releasing.
Sure.
I'm going to make a parody of one. We know how incompetent OSA is. We know how they have misfired, have missed things. I'm going to make a parody document of OSA, how they basically can't figure out who BFG is, who these individuals are. So I'm going to try to make a parody document and see how it works out.
Nice.
We'll see. It's my introduction.
I love parodies.
Great. Yeah, absolutely.
I love joking and degrading.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
No, that'd be great.
When are you gonna?
Next week, I have the Word document written down now, so we'll see how.
All right, so send us a link, and we'll make sure to help you.
Yeah, Pete, you have a channel that you're.
I don't have a channel, but hopefully it'll go from there.
Good.
I know the community is strong, so hopefully you guys could help promote it or something.
Sure.
We're all in this
together.
There we go.
Yep.
Just waiting for that. So we absolutely can. That's without a doubt.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great.
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking
can
about.
come on.
Oh.
That's right, Terry Ray. That's right.
All right.
You can come on you can come on the pre-show too if you want, Pete.
I appreciate it, guys.
Oh yeah.
I'm
We
going to come prepared. Really, I was put on the spot right now, but I will come prepared next time. I'll have some documents. I'll have some things to say.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
Right.
We're usually the after show, like we're having like towards the end, this more free format.
Right.
But the pre-show is free for all. So I'm sure Chad will have you anytime, and you can stay on and chat and with everybody for as long as you want. Cheers.
You guys seem like a friendly bunch.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Bite, right?
Yep. Or the nutty, notorious, nefarious, whatever. Never is.
All of those.
A bunch of N-words.
Where are you all from, you guys?
Parodies. Just a second. Sorry. Berg says, I love parrots. So there you go.
Nice.
Well, Clearwater Chad is from Clearwater.
No, I don't believe that.
He is from Clearwater, New York.
Clearwater, New York.
Where are you from,
That's where he's
Chad?
Yeah, Clearwater Buffalo. Yep.
Chad, come on. Is it Buffalo or what? Are you lying or what, bud?
Yeah, it's Clearwater Buffalo. You guys don't need to know the exact town of Buffalo I'm in, do you?
No.
Clearwater.
Are you?
Clearwater.
Is there a town within Buffalo, Chad?
Oh yeah, there's about 20.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I'm sure Osa knows where.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they already do.
Yeah.
Dig it in your trash as we speak.
And Denver, Steve-O is
from Clearwater, Denver. That's right.
Maryland.
And I am from Clearwater, Vermont, Clearwater, Stanford. But right now I'm in Clearwater, New Hampshire.
Okay.
Nice.
Lake Winnipesaukee.
When you say Stanford, are you from Connecticut or?
No, Vermont.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm from Warwick, New York. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that. Orange.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, small town. Small
I wonder
town.
how far away you are from Buffalo.
I'm approximately 4 hours because I have been to the Buffalo Bills game before.
Oh, okay.
How far are you from like Albany? From Albany?
Albany. I went to SUNY Albany for college.
Did you?
Ah.
I'm about an hour and 15 minutes away from Albany.
There we
Very
go.
close.
Whoa, we're on the move. Oh, there it is.
Oh wow, he has it right on the wall.
SUNY Albany, my friend.
Nice.
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 That's great.
Marilyn, you lived in Albany?
No, but I'm not too far away.
Oh.
It's the closest mall.
Albany's a great crossroad. What is
Crossgates, yeah, it's the closest mall for me. About an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 15.
That's your
Yeah.
closest mall?
Yes, yes. I used to train at Crossgates. I was a manager at 3 JCPenney's. I was the
Really? I
Yeah.
spent so much time, and I had friends.
I spent a lot of time at Crossgates JCPenney's training. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, you weren't on loss prevention, were you?
No, I was HR.
You might have
Oh
had-
yeah. No,
No, I'm just
it was jewelry, and then it was HR.
okay. Right
Yeah.
on, right on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, again, you guys have been more than nice. Like I said, I'm gonna come prepared. I'm gonna come with some content, and hopefully it'll impress you guys, and hopefully it'll get some views. So
It doesn't take much to be
Really all we're at.
for us to be impressed, but I'm sure
No.
we will be.
hey, I love watching you guys. I love all the antics. I love everything. So I'm gonna try to add to this community and be a
Nice.
benefit, and not just a lame
I love it.
chat. So
Very cool.
No,
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Pete.
thanks,
Thanks,
thanks
Pete.
for joining us.
Yeah.
I would say shoot Chad an email.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
he'll send you a link for the pre-show next week.
you got it.
And
Yep.
then the pre-show, you don't have to be on time. It's at 5 Clearwater time. But he usually goes on at a little bit early, and then you can just join whenever, and you can leave, you can come
Very
back.
casual.
So
Yeah.
what
Very
do I do?
casual.
Invest in the shore mic and
No, that's the AA Ron mic.
That's right.
Oh, this is strapped. It's got bungee cords, and I think some duct tape
Right.
because we like packed it in the car, but I couldn't have my whole arm
look,
situation.
I laugh
so-
and I shake. You see this?
Yeah.
It's just my laptop on my lap. So I will make it
That's
better,
all right.
guys.
That's all right. It's,
Good luck,
Doesn't
Blue
have
Jay.
to- Doesn't
Thanks
have
so
to be
much.
better. It's all.
I'll talk to you guys next week.
Okay.
Sounds great.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
Take
Thanks,
care.
Pete.
You too.
All right. One
And I
last
think-
question I need to
Okay.
answer before we go any further, before
Okay.
we wrap this up.
I think we should wrap it up after this question.
I agree
Yeah.
100%. Deviant Outcast, just come on over and, be prepared to, I don't know, hang out and chat and do what other people do while I literally go and fall asleep.
Sleep.
So,
Yeah, basically people chat, or just leave the stream going all
Mhm.
night to give them watch hours or chat, or just it's also like a place for the community to keep talking, to keep the conversation going, because usually we're
Yeah.
chatting while there's something happening on screen, so it's hard to pay attention to everything, and then there's people are just chatting.
yeah, it was originally set up to be
Albany, home of Nexium.
home of
Absolutely.
Nexium.
Not
That's
quite.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Quite.
Yep.
Not quite.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Oh,
it was originally set up to help me get watch hours back in the day, and back in the day, that's like less than a month ago now,
Yeah,
or
back
something
in the
like
day.
that. But back in the day,
Back in my day.
and now it just makes sense to just leave the chat open, and we've
People
got
enjoyed chatting and getting to know
Europeans
each
and
other.
Australians. Pants are optional. Thank you, Peggy. But yeah, it's just a great way for people to. If you're an insomniac, or you're a European, or you're an Australian, or you're somewhere else, or whatever, just a great way to kind of hang out and chat. And I'll have some nice water sounds flowing, and the lights behind me blinking, but I won't be sitting here sleeping. So, swing on over, and
We've had people fight and make up all in one night.
all in one
Ah.
night, all in
Yeah,
one night.
Very-
people
it's
sharing
very
their
intense.
sharing.
It was
their-
very intense. It was very interesting. I was just lurking, but it was very interesting to watch.
Yeah. And then I come back the next day and I just read the entire chat transcript like a weird
Stalker.
Stalker.
Is that what you?
I just said I was lurking, reading the chat.
Oh, lurker. I guess lurker. That's it.
Lurker,
just
yeah.
the
It's a
dude that
safe
like drills the
space,
hole
yeah.
in the thing and watches through. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
Angela
creepy
had said
neighbor.
something about. I'm sorry, just because I said no, and you were talking about the Nexium is not really Albany, and the only reason why I'm saying that is because I follow the
It's Cahos,
a
right?
podcast from the Albany Times, or I don't know, people that are from the area, and they say that they take offense. It's kind of like Scientology in California.
Right.
Nobody wants to be
Damn
responsible.
it,
It's
right.
not quite Albany, it's another place. I don't
I
remember
think
the
it's
name of the place now.
Cahos, maybe.
I don't
Albany,
remember the name of the
Cahos.
place.
Yeah,
But it's not
a
Albany
suburb.
per se.
Yeah, it's a suburb.
Close enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is Albany, just
Funny.
All right,
Wow.
guys.
All right.
So, thank you all
This
for
is great.
joining us.
Yeah.
Chad,
well,
final
see-
words.
Yeah, this was an amazing stream. I mean, we had
Great.
we had a lot of stuff.
We had a lot of stuff.
We had a lot of stuff. That's
I'm
right.
getting tired. Sorry, I have my 2 streams, so
Right.
guys
No,
can
you've been
hear
going
me.
all. Yeah, you've been going
We
all
had
day
not
tonight.
only the 2 big guys, we had Mark and Alex, but we had Pete Jensen. He was really funny, and we're gonna have him on the pre-show. And
Nice.
We're excited to see what he comes up with.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
So the rest of the week, I mean, I'm on vacation, so I'm probably not going to do a day stream, like day stream. But this coming Saturday, we have Mark Turi again, right, with Joe DeSeppo, who was on the pre-show today, and she's amazing. So that'll be Clifton Park. You're right. It wasn't Cahos. I lied. Clifton Park. That's it. Thank you.
Okay.
Getting tired.
Clifton-
I knew it
Clifton
began
Park,
with a C.
Clifton Park.
Yep. Clifton
Yeah.
Park.
Oh, and he went to one workshop. I want to hear that story next week. When
Oh,
you're
wow.
on the show.
Yeah.
Or whatever you
Oh,
call it.
Pete.
Hey,
That's
Pete, I might
funny.
have to do this.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's
You're
practically
twice
my
as interesting
neighbor.
now.
There you go. Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm
Wow.
sorry I cut
Cool.
you off, Marilyn. You're saying you're
Oh,
not going
no,
to be
so-
doing any day shows this week because you're on vacation?
Probably not, but you never know. Maybe a night
Hey,
one.
right.
Who knows? But
Yeah, AA Ron advises to go on every day, Marilyn.
yeah,
She's
maybe
on vacation.
maybe we'll just like
okay.
eat
We'll forget it.
lobster.
We'll forget
We'll
it.
have like our lobster bibs at Maine. Maybe we'll do that. We'll do a video.
Okay, yeah, do a video. Sure. Don't have to
Thank
go
you.
live.
Duncan's eating pizza next to me.
Oh, good night,
nice.
Duncan.
All right, everybody. So I don't see you
Jump
before that.
over
We'll
to
definitely see you
Laura's.
Saturday.
I'm going to post
Yes.
the link here again.
Yeah.
And then sleep
I
with
just post the
Steve-O.
link now.
Quick,
And then sleep with
run,
Steve-O.
refill your drinks,
Yep.
run to the bathroom, and Laura's
over
on in
there.
5, 4, 3,
3,
All right.
2,
2,
1.
1. And
Good night.
we are out.